Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me in this international conference, ICPM 2026, International Conference on Project Management. As a keynote speaker, I'm very delighted to address the gathering. Let me start with my presentation. So, as the theme of the conference is generative AI, knowledge management, and digital transformation for education, industry, and enterprise productivity. I would like to share my observations and insights from the research that I have been involved in for last 2 to 3 years. The theme that I'm going to discuss is generative AI and digital transformation in knowledge economy. So just a brief profile about myself. I'm a PhD in management with specialization in finance. I have also executive program in applied finance from Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, and MBA in finance with certified lecturership, certified for lecturership in finance. With 18 years of experience, I am associated with Nottingham University, UK, Liverpool John Morris University, BITS Pilani, India, and IMS Ghaziabad as my full-time employer. My domain areas are finance, accounting, investment management, financial derivative, financial econometrics, and sustainable finance. So what is the macro perspective when we say generative AI and digital transformation? The organizations are moving from automation to orchestration. There is a paradigm shift from being deterministic task automation to dynamic cognitive orchestration. This is what the modern enterprise are moving towards. So in today's session, we'll start with by understanding the paradox between adoption versus earning before interest and tax, EBIT. So in management, we all know EBIT is the bottom line of any organization to measure the performance of the organization. So what is the paradox? We can see that it's only 35% of organizations which have seen a significant impact on their EBIT by the adoption of AI. Although overall enterprises across the world, the large cap firms, almost 78% of enterprise branches have adopted the generative AI, or for that matter, they have digitally transformation strategies. They have adopted digital transformation strategies. Where is the bottleneck? Bottleneck is the access fallacy. We call it access fallacy. What is access fallacy? Distribution of LLM license without structural flow work design. This only leads to personal productivity and gains, not organizational. Second, the strategic alignment problem. The high performing enterprises shift focus from cost reduction to cognitive business capabilities. Now, when we discuss digital transformation, it's important that we focus on the difference between task automation and reimagination. When we say task automation, these are targeted for individual productivity, or a little bit broader scope could be local task speed. Now, this means there is an application of AI tools for the existing manual flow work or workflows without altering the operational logic. These kind of updation has led to 14 to 34% efficiency gain, which is nothing but a linear growth in ROI, return on investment. This is because of high vulnerability to process frictions. Now let's come and understand what process reimagination would look like, or look like in an organization which has gained advantage by digital transformation. There is a redesigning its cross-functional business architecture, and agentic workflows are used for unified knowledge graph, which leads to 3.7 to 4.2 times return on investment across units. There is a compounding effect on enterprise value through sustainable competitive model. So it's very clear that when we say digital transformation, the enterprise are not supposed to focus only on task augmentation by LLM, by application of large language models. Rather, there should be process reimagination. What are the three pillars that every organization need to understand as a cognitive framework? First, contextual grounding. The retrieval augmented generation and enterprise knowledge graph should be connected to frontier models through verified unstructured enterprise data, neutralizing all those hallucination risk. Second, agentic orchestration, which is nothing but transition of passive prompts to autonomous multi-agent system capable of multi-step reasoning, tool execution, and self-correction. Final, the human in loop governance framework that embed human expertise at all critical decision-making nodes, ensuring ethical alignment, auditability, and risk mitigation. Now, as we say, agentic artificial intelligence, it goes beyond the chatbots. We are very familiar about chatbots. The agentic AI is a frontier of digital transformation, moving from standalone chatbots to autonomous agentic networks. These can be three different levels we can understand. First, the generative AI decomposes the problem required to be solved. How does it perform? It is by segregating into actionable subtasks. Second, it is through tool integration. It can be through direct API integration with ERPs, enterprise resource planning, customer resource management, CRM softwares, or even the financial databases like Bloomberg, or you have other Refinitiv databases. You have CSR, MAR data of China, Provesh of India, and so on, right? Third, generative AI architecture should include continuous adaptation, which is nothing but real-time feedback and refining the reasoning over operational cycles. Now let us understand what are the sectoral impacts through the adaptation of digital transformation. The highly gained sector are financial services, especially the fintechs, payment gateways organizations, service organizations like Visa or MasterCard, or even Google and WhatsApp. Then comes media and telecom. Third, healthcare and life sciences. And there's a lot of scope for healthcare and life sciences to include the generative AI technology so that the end consumer can get advantage of this. Manufacturing and logistics, 5x RO. Now, what are the key insight? The knowledge intensive sectors, all these are knowledge intensive sectors, demonstrate significantly higher capital returns because of implementation of these integrated platforms. Some of the enterprise transformation cases that I would like to discuss in these four sectors. First, healthcare. It is stereo access and clinical system, which has surgical robotics and care discharge summaries, which uses RAG and surgical AI, and their revenue growth is by 39% and 65% faster patient handover. In financial services, we have global investment bankers, which has automated equity research and regulatory audit. The implemented AI architecture is knowledge graphs. There is 70% reduction in document processing time. So we can understand in a financial services company, there are these reports that have to be generated and audited. And that is the time consuming. Then we have software engineering. The company like Global Tech Services, it applied code refactoring and automated testing. 34% developed velocity boost and 40% less bugs. Then we have customer experiences, which is tier 1 global support. The transformation focus was through autonomous issue resolution. AI architecture was multi-agent support. And what was the measurable outcome? The 50% ticket absorption and 10x response acceleration. So hope you can understand that what digital transformation can do to an enterprise. So based on the Observation, I can propose that there is a maturity curve of AI strategy for any organization. First, it starts with ad hoc, that is implementation of LLMs through individuals as well. Second comes the contextual, wherein enterprise RSA integration, secure data pipelines and architectures, and standardized governance for ethical practices. Third, implementation of agentic AI through multi-agent workflows and API integration through job role redesign. And the final is the self-evolving intelligent AI with continuous feedback and cognitive business model, which will be known as autonomous. So everything boils down to human interaction, right? So there is a need for human capital and role redesign. As there is a talent integration frictions, the AI access has surged by 50% and 84% jobs have left core job description and workflow unchanged. So there is a requirement of shifting of the fluency. Education and cognitive fluency surpass technical coding requirement for business leader. The AI itself now good does the coding part and self-correction as well. And the workforce is required to be hybrid, which is the integration of human and AI teams. So I conclude that the enterprise of tomorrow, the intelligent enterprises of tomorrow, is not defined by how many model it deploys, but how seamlessly it synthesizes human capital with machine cognition. Thank you so much. I'm open for any question. Thank you.